All right, next up is Limitless, which stars Bradley Cooper in the movie that Margaret claims is the worst named movie ever. And I have to share with you...
It's a bad title.
When I went to see it, it was the third one. I went and did Friday at the movies. I did a marathon at the movies. And my wife asked what I was going to see, and I was calling her in between movies to say, hey, this is where I'm getting ready to go. How was that movie? How's the boy? That kind of thing. And she said, what are you seeing next? And I said, Limitless. She goes, which one is that one? Like, I had already talked to her 3 times that day about Limitless, and it's still, she wasn't connecting it. So,
I feel
you're right,
validated.
bad title. Limitless stars Bradley Cooper as a guy who, I love how it's set up. Something along the lines of, only a writer could look this bad without being involved with drugs or alcohol. Like, he looks like he's a homeless guy at the beginning of the movie. And he's a writer. He's just not a very successful writer. He has a book contract, but he can't seem to get his butt together, his button gear, to get words down on the page. It's a problem of focus, and he lives in this dirty little apartment, and he's just especially captured by the fact that they use a very grungy, almost matrixy kind of filter to the shots when he's in his initial condition. Through circumstances, he runs into someone he used to know, and that's a complicated relationship that we won't get into it, but he ends up with this designer drug. And this designer drug has about 4 different names, depending on which website you check. If I remember correctly, the proper name is NZT, but we're just going to say designer drug or drug for the purpose of this. And the thing this drug does is it allows you to access all of your brain power. It helps you to focus. It makes your life more clear. And it's a clear little pill, so there you go.
I have a medication like that as well.
Oh, do you?
I don't take it on Sundays, though.
It's very Flowers for Algernon-ish, except for instead of the character starting out as a mentally retarded person, he's starting out as just a very unfocused person. And
as a writer.
As a writer. And ends up...
Kind of like mentally retarded.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, not too far removed from that. And then ends up, taking this pill, and within days, within the night, he's written the 60 pages that he has due the next day. He's cleaned up his apartment completely. He's got a very... full, very, very focused style, and, there's color in the world, because, again, they remove that filter when he's on the drug, which is really cool, because it brings out Bradley Cooper's very blue eyes. I mean, he has very vibrant eyes, and the movie kind of brings that out even more, so that when he's on the pill, he looks very focused and intense, which is kind of a cool effect. The problem is that he's got a limited supply of the pills, and they're not very consistent with when they use that filter. So there were at least a couple of times that I caught that it was like, is he not on the drug right now? And then he's like rattling off this stuff that is very obvious that he's on the drug. He ends up taking the drug kind of regularly. Again, he's got a limited supply, but he manages to write his book within a couple of days, and he starts seeing ways to like help the world as a whole. But in order to help the world, he needs capital, and so he starts getting involved in day trading. And that opens this whole mess, which is where Robert De Niro comes in. He's a corporate heavy hitter, and Bradley Cooper's character gets a shot with him, and, it goes about as well as you might expect, because, you can pretty much predict. It's like Spider-Man in the old days. He had the web shooters. You could always tell when he was going to run out of web fluid, when it was going to be convenient to the story. It kind of feels that way with Bradley Cooper. Oh, he needs the pill right now. Guess he doesn't have one.
Oh.
Now, there are some nice parts of the movie where there is kind of this cat and mouse game as to who else is on the drug, and there are characters that you don't know that are on the drug that suddenly it turns out that they're aware of its existence too, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, the drug kind of becomes the cure-all solution to any problem that's going on in the movie. Oh, I'm being chased by goons, let me just pop the pill, and it will help me see the way out, regardless of whether I'm Bradley Cooper or not. And that's one of my problems, is that it extends to just about anybody in the movie, because it's easy as popping a pill to come up with that solution. And I feel like that was kind of lazy writing. I also was not really impressed by the visual style of the movie. There's a lot of computer effects and these, to use the name of the movie, kind of limitless zooms, where they have these series of zooms that were attached together to kind of make it look like you're just consistently moving through the city. The problem is that, ironically, for a movie that's about focus, these digital effects really distracted me from the main story. So instead of really helping accentuate Cooper's character's condition, it really kind of threw me. And the idea being that, yes, he's taking in all of this information, but he can handle it. So shouldn't I, as an audience member, if I'm supposed to be seeing what he's seeing, should it really be overwhelming to me? And I've got a problem with that. I think they took a little too much license with the visual effects to kind of spice up the movie as opposed to staying true to what the story was. It's a good story, it's a fun movie, but all in all, I think it is kind of flawed. I think the story has its holes as far as the overuse of who's on the drug, the ability that anybody can use the drug, and the convenience of suddenly having him out of the drug or able to find a pill at a moment's notice. And then the visual effects kind of distracting me from everything, and the inconsistency of the use of the lighting filters or the color filters really kind of bothered me as well. So, I'm going to go with 3.5 stars.
Wow,
and a clear little pill.
Oh,
I mean, the obvious choice there.
That feels like lazy writing.
Yeah.